Stop worrying. God is going to come through in your situation. Hey, everybody, it's Ryan here. Many of you right now probably feel like, even myself, I had to come on here to share something transparently with you, that it's sometimes it's hard being a believer. We're expecting to see God show up. We're expecting to see God come through, especially if you're used to seeing the miracle working hand of God. And many of you are in situations, you are in circumstances that right now are causing you to lose a little bit of hope. Maybe it's even causing you to lose sleep. Maybe you're worrying. And so on this video, God has sent me to just encourage you on today, and to even encourage myself, that God is going to show up, that we can stop worrying. God is still God. Now, many of you, what the Lord impressed upon my heart and to just release to you guys and to share with you guys as a word of comfort, as a word of exhortation, even on today specifically, to just encourage you that some of you, the reason why we're not seeing God move in the same manner he's moved in seasons past is because you have graduated. You have been promoted. You are on a path of maturity and escalation. And so seeing God show up for you is going to look different in this particular situation. And it's going to change the way that you view God. It's going to change, and it's going to expand what you believe is even possible about God. Many of you, even like myself, you may be facing one of the toughest situations that you ever faced before. And the reason why this situation is showing up now is because possibly that in seasons past, you have been under the grace of God, where God has stepped in and God has intervened, and God has even allowed you to avoid facing what you're facing right now. That you've been able to be under God's grace, so much so that it's almost like you were able to kick this can down the road until you have to face your fears. You have to face what you're facing right now. And so this thing that you're facing, this particular situation, the thing that is causing you to worry the most, the thing that's causing you to lose sleep, what God has revealed to me, even through my own particular situation, this situation is going to be the key that's going to unlock so many things for your 2024. And if you can begin to trust God through this process, that he will come through, that he will deliver you, that he will allow you to see victory in this particular situation, even though it looks different, that whatever you face after this, it's going to be easy to go through. And so many of you, this moment, this very thing that you're facing right now is like a domino effect. As this domino begins to fall down, many things are going to open in your life. And so I want to encourage you to stop worrying. I want to encourage you to stop stressing. Many of you, what the Lord has showed me specifically is that you've graduated. You've gone to a new level of spiritual maturity. And so what happened when you were a baby Christian, when you were a baby in the Word, is God coddled you more. God, he held you in his hands more. There was more of his manifested presence in your particular situation. You could see the physical imprint of God's hand moving in your situation. However, this time, what God is requiring of you is looking a little bit different. It's going to take your active participation. And some of you guys, what your active participation in this is, number one, just believing that God can do it. Believing that God can turn the situation around, whether he uses you to be a part of it or whether he comes in miraculously and just changes everything overnight. But we must first believe that it's possible. We have to believe that God is capable and able to show up and to deliver us, whatever the situation looks like. The second thing that we must be doing is be actively obedient to what God is telling us to do. There may be a command, there may be an instruction that either we have partially obeyed or not fully stepped into all the way. And this particular instruction is what's necessary for us to get the next instruction, to get the next directive of what to do next to tackle what we're facing in our particular lives. And so I can share with you guys specifically one of the things that my pastor instructed me from as a word of knowledge about this particular situation that I am facing now, that I know that applies to this. one of the things that God told him through me, or told me through him, was to not just walk with the instructions, but to run with the instructions. And I know sometimes we, as Christians and as believers, we can come to a point in our life. Sometimes we're playing semantics with God. We want to do the bare minimum because we've maybe in previous season, that's all it took to see God show up. And so God is stretching us. God is stretching our capacity. God is stretching us and moving us to the next level. And so as he's stretching us, what you have to do, your active participation in this situation to see your deliverance may look different. And so it may be causing you to stretch. It may be causing you to grow. Many of you, one of your directions is surrender, is surrendering to this particular situation, surrendering to the perfect plan and the will of God, to know that it's God appointed that you're in this situation right now, that God knew that you would be here. And so that this situation didn't catch God by surprise. God is not caught off guard. God didn't know that this was going to end up on his timeline. And so what you need to do is just trust God, obey the instructions, and fully surrender to the plan and will of God. And so if God is telling you to run with something, don't walk with it, run with it. If God is telling you to wait, then wait. Ask God, what does waiting look like? Some of you, I know from just having conversations with you, you're saying that God is telling you to wait. But what does wait look like? Wait looks like a different instruction to many people. And so God may be telling you to wait in a specific place. God may be telling you to wait in a particular posture. Is he telling you to wait in worship, to wait in a place? And so you have to get crystal clear on the instructions. And so as we become crystal clear on what the instructions are and what they mean to us as an individual, we can step out in them. We can be obedient to them. And as we step out in faith, as we move in faith, as we allow this year to truly not just be a leap year in time, in a chronological sense, but allow this to be the year that we leap with God, that we trust that if we leap, that he will catch us. Just like it talks about in Psalms 91, that, you know, if our foot slips, that there will be angels there to catch us, and that there will be angels there to minister to us. And so this is that time that we take that extra leap of faith, that we make that jump, that we stop worrying, that we fully trust God, know that he's capable and able to deliver us, and that part of our deliverance may include us in the picture, that there may be something that we must actively do to see the hand of the Lord show up in our lives. And so I want to encourage you on today, stop worrying. It's just making the situation worse. It's making you feel this burden. It's making you feel this pressure. It's making you feel not worthy. It's making you feel guilty. It's making you feel stagnant. And now the burden looks so big that you can't do anything, that you can't move forward. And so I'm going to challenge you guys to stop worrying, trust God, don't be anxious, understand that God's timeline, God's plan, his timing is perfect. And as we surrender to that understanding, if we surrender to that particular ideal and understand that, you know, it may look different. It may look different because we've graduated, that if we take that place of authority and understand that God has promoted us, that we can actually participate in our deliverance, it's going to empower you, it's going to push you forward, and you will see the hand of the Lord show up in your life. And so do me a favor, like this video, share this video with somebody else who needs to hear it right now. Stop worrying. God is going to come through for you.